unknown, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
After one of the closest finishes in series history at Talladega, we now come to the Roval with only 2 drivers guaranteed to go into the round of 8. We're cutting heads tonight at the Roval at Charlotte. Tony Trapasso up in the booth with you tonight as I have the man, the myth, the living legend himself.
Let's
Cliff.
not get crazy.
Well, Cliff, again, help me out here. Pronounce your last name.
It's a little French, little Canadian. Corriveau.
Sure. Up in the production truck. He's going to be joining me on comms. And Cliff, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen here tonight, as we've got some names that aren't in the playoffs, and one that I've only seen in the series one other time, and that was the last time we were on a road course, but a very familiar name if you follow the rest of the broadcast on ESPN, as Chris Walker coming out on track right now in the 46. But Cedric Hunter, Nick Wing, and Chris Walker, the 3 non-chase drivers that are here tonight and could possibly play spoiler, because I know at least one of them is a road course ringer.
Well, that'll put a twist in things. Keep your eyes out on that. What amazes me here tonight, though, is that these drivers are going to do... We did a little bit of math here before the show. With an astounding 17 turns here, 55 laps. We're looking at, 930 some odd lefts and rights?
Give or take.
These guys are going to have some stamina, or are going to need some stamina to get through this one. So this is going to be a battle for everyone out here on this track just to make it through this one.
Very much so. And as we've already seen this season, this car doesn't like to touch walls, and there are walls all over this place. And even more importantly, you've got to really watch out for those sausage curbs that they've got on the inside of some of the tighter corners, especially going through those chicanes. Take that corner a little too acute, shall we say, and go over that heavily. I mean, you can go onto the rumble strips, you'll be okay. Once you get past that point and you get onto those blue sausage curbs, you're gonna do some damage to this car.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, and you don't want to hit them at all, and you really don't even want to brush them lightly continuously throughout the entire race, because a lot of light brushing is going to add up to damage. The good news that they'll have a competition yellow at about 45 to come in and reset things, probably get some of that damage fixed up, so that's going to help a bit.
Absolutely. Now the big question is, as we click over to the qualifying session, hot lap session's coming to an end. How many guys are we actually going to see lay down a time here? Because this track is notorious for not being easy to pass on. As we bared witness to yesterday in the real world race, there were a lot of unhappy drivers at the end of that piece.
Yeah, I would expect at least a handful of drivers to come out here and put down a time, just given what you said. Track position is going to be pretty paramount here. And if you're not great here, you're gonna want to come out and put down a time, I think, and just get out in front of the field, even before the green flag, and try to just survive.
Yeah, absolutely. As looks like Ryan Decker, Nick Wing, and Mark McFadden, the only brave souls we've got so far. As JD Woodward starting to roll it in the 47. So let's unfortunately, there were a lot of guys that weren't able to get a clean lap in the practice session. So that's definitely something to be mindful of, especially coming through this qualifying session. You don't need to set the world on fire, but you need a clean lap. No corners cut, no off tracks, no wall taps. And, you should be able to, have a pretty decent starting spot. As let's go over the guys that are in do or die mode right now. Marconi, Greg Marconi in the 12, Jason Papp in the 1. Those are the only two drivers that are safe right now. As I'm looking through the points, Brandon Lowe's, who he is here tonight. Brandon Lowe's should be safe, just has to keep it on track. Same goes for Javon Cherry, as he's here tonight as well. Should be okay. I just received word that Connor Trafari, who was coming in tonight 5th in points, unfortunately is having connection issues. I don't see Joe Gautier, who's currently 6th in points. Shane Newens is here. Mark McFadden is here. Mark McFadden currently has the final transfer spot sitting in 8th. So with Gautier not being here, that's going to probably move either JD Woodward or Ryan Decker up. Brandon Wilson is here, who's currently sitting 11th in points. And then Nick Kessler, I think I saw him. Yes, Nick Kessler is out on track right now as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys that are, do or die right now. And the pressure's got to be just incredible. As first handful of time starting to trickle in, Ryan Decker goes to the point with a 123.9.
Yeah, he's going to set the bar pretty high here.
Yeah, that was a really good lap. Nick Wing going second quick with a 127. So Wing and Mark McFadden both putting in just safety laps just to make sure that they get a time down. As JD Woodward, 123.98. So that's going to put him second quick on his first lap as Woodward goes second quick. McFadden gets bumped down to fourth. Javon Cherry in the 48 out on track right now, getting ready to complete his first lap to the top of the pile with a 123 dead.
Well, that bar's been lifted ever so slightly. Javon Cherry taking the point.
Almost a full second, too.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one to beat. Kessler still out there going around. Let's see what type of a time he'll put down in the 4.
As he's coming down the back straightaway, heading towards that backstretch chicane. And Javon Cherry not going to improve on his time as he loops it, coming through the inner portion of the track. Driver with the safety net, Greg Marconi, currently leading the points right now, out on track right now as well. Kessler coming through the final chicane. And you can see how unsettled that car got as he hit those sausage curbs. Kessler to the point, first one to go sub 23. Wow, what a lap.
Yeah, unexpected a little bit for me anyway. That's a blazing fast time. McConey's out there now, or has been. See what kind of a time he'll put up.
And I'd like to point out, Kessler's the first one tonight to go sub 123.
Yeah, that's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, that was an absolute heater on that lap. Let's see what Marconi's got as he comes through the final chicane. And lost a lot of time coming through there. And this is his first lap. Green. He goes green, and Kessler not going to improve on his time as we got about 3 minutes left. So if anybody wants to make a shot at this, as finally Connor Trafari gets into the session. Better late than never, son. As that number 9 finally starting to roll. He should have enough time to get one heater in. As Marconi on lap. Yeah, he's having connection issues. Heavy storms where he's at. Same thing for Marconi. So Marconi might have some connection issues as we move on here. But so far, no purple sectors for Marconi yet. And Trafari's going to try it again. Marconi bringing it through that final chicane. And big time over the sausage curves. Lucky to keep that car on all 4 wheels. First lap for Marconi. Going to put him third quick with a 123.38.
But Trafari trying to one more time get a time under his belt in this number 9, having connection issues, locks him up a little bit right there. Let's see if he can make it all the way through this lap and then make it through the race without problems.
Well, this is just his out lap too. I mean,
oh yeah, good point.
This is just let's get some heat into these tires so we can go try to blister one. because Trifari's not afraid to put it on the edge. He has shown that for the past couple of seasons. As blows through the backstretch chicane, that's going to be a major slowdown for him. Should be okay because he's got to slow down for that front stretch chicane anyways. As long as he gets a good drive off of that and doesn't repeat that action on his one flyer that he's going to get. And he's hustling this. Oh,
he loses it.
That's not good.
I think he's just happy to be here anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the problem. With iRacing being an internet connection racing series, Connor was having connection issues. He had absolutely zero practice coming into this race. So, and he was trying for it, and I don't blame him. With where he's sitting in the point standings, he's got to go after it. But it looks like that is going to do it for qualifying right now. Only 7 cars posting a time. We had 14 enter the session. And what happened to Brandon Lowe's? So we're going to have 12 start this race as Brandon Lowe's and Chris Walker have both decided to, take the show up points and call it good. So
probably a safe bet for some drivers. I know it would be a very safe bet for me. I mean, I would probably take the out lap and do a lap or two before I came in to park it, because that's the safest way for me to get around a place like this. But I don't do this on the regular.
Right, but I mean, with where Lowe's is sitting in points, he should be okay. As looks like we are going to get a rolling start. Yeah, 12 drivers in the session. So Nick Kessler setting quick time in qualifying in the number 4. And that Troy Lee's Designs breast cancer awareness number 4 going to be starting up on the point. He's going to be joined on the front row with the Lowe's Home Improvement number 48 of Javon Cherry. Greg Marconi in the body armor number 12 is going to be joined in row number 2 with the Lot 9 Brewing number 28 of Ryan Decker. JD Woodward in the Valvoline number 48 is going to be joined with the Captain Caveman number 5 of Mark McFadden. That is row number 3. Row 4 gives us the STP Chevy Camaro, the number 90 of Nick Wing. He's going to be joined with the Powerpuff Girls Ford Mustang of Cedric Hunter, making his return to the league after getting knocked out in the last round. Another I can English tonight, really I can. Another Lot 9 Brewing breast cancer awareness number 9 Chevy Camaro of Connor Trifari is going to be joined with the all black shadow of the man who punched his ticket at Talladega to get into the round of 8. That is Chief Cook and Bottle Washer of the Rowdy Energy Cup Series, Mr. Jason Papp. The 501 of Brandon Wilson, that beautiful salute to the troops. 501 is going to be joined with the lone Aussie in the field. That is the 98 of Shane Newlands. And as we mentioned, Brandon Lowe's and Chris Walker both not here. So, Cliff, the biggest thing is, what is the game plan? If you're attacking this race, knowing that you've got to have a good showing to get to the next round.
Well, I think the game plan is really simple. It's to survive. Keep it on track. Don't do anything crazy out there today. Watch out for these massive curbs and bumps. Keep it off the walls. Keep it off your competitors, and try to come out on top and have a decent day.
I believe Richard Petty put it best when he said, in order to finish first you must finish.
Yes, without a doubt.
So a little bit of a different look this week, considering we are on a road course. We are behind the Porsche 911 pace car, which a little bit of a different look as we pace through the backstretch chicane. And you really have to watch out for the sausage curbs on the inside of that one. And there's two varying degrees. There's the blue sausage curb that is around the rest of the track, but then they get those giant yellow ones that will completely obliterate any suspension on your car.
Absolutely. You do not want to touch those at all costs.
Very much so.
It's going to end your day.
Oh, yeah. And probably take somebody with you. So as the field works its way through the 3-4 complex, pace car getting ready to make the left turn onto pit road. The only thing that's left to do is you wipe the visor, you adjust the 5-point safety harness, make sure that steering wheel's on there nice and tight. And race fans, it's showtime!
We're off to 12, giving a big shove to the 4, locks them up. They're getting into turn 1. It looks like everybody makes it through just fine.
Marconi would love nothing better than to play spoiler here tonight. Self-admittedly not a strong road racer, but and you could see he's got damage. He gave Kessler a shot, as you can see the rear bumper damage on the 4. But admittedly not a road course ringer. But Marconi would love nothing better than to just play spoiler and let these guys try to point their way into the round of 8, which will start next week at Texas.
Well, he's doing it right now as he takes it away from Nick Kessler, who got a mean old shove from him coming into turn 1. But a little bit of damage on both of those cars. I'm worried a little bit about that. I mean, it's pretty early to already have some damage.
Well, I'm more worried about Kessler than I am Marconi, solely because with this car having the diffuser in the back of these pieces, it's very easy to lose a ton of downforce, because you notice that there's not a big rear spoiler on this car, because most of the downforce is generated underbody, as Marconi locks him up again going into turn 1.
Yeah, probably trying to get those air pressures up and really get the brake bias dialed in a little bit. It's going to take a few laps here to get comfortable.
Well, he's also doing what they call threshold braking, where you can tell when the car starts to lock him up, and you just back off the pedal just a little bit and kind of modulate it, almost like anti-lock braking. But you've got to trust your feet to be able to do that. As right now, we've got a little bit of a 3-car breakaway at the front of this piece. Marconi, Kessler, and Javon Cherry, 3 of the guys that won the vast majority of races in the regular season, really going after it right now, hammer and tongs, as they're almost a full second to the good over that battle for the number 4 spot between J.D. Woodward and Cedric Hunter.
Yeah, you got a few of these, or I say a few, but more like 5 or 6 of these cars up in the lead pack here. Then you got a pretty big gap back to Nicholas Wing in the 90, who's leading his own pack. 7th on back, you got McFadden, Newlands, and Wilson, Jason Papp, and Connor Trafari. Actually, Trafari is now lingering way back as he's probably having some issues with his internet, trying to hang back. But you're going to see these guys get real spread out as time goes on. So nothing normal or nothing abnormal here. You see the 13 and the 90 have a gap now. But almost 5 seconds.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the Lot 9 Brewing number 9 of Connor Trafari is kind of getting ready to play the attrition game. He's not really pushing it because he didn't get any practice. So just trying to keep that car on the track, keep the car clean, and wait for the other guys to make the mistakes and just start picking off spots.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. He didn't have like you said, he didn't have the opportunity to get any practice laps in, and that's definitely tough at a road course. So he's running around there. Probably gave himself a nice gap on a little bit on purpose so that he's not around anybody. Get some laps in. Let everyone not everyone, but let some of these drivers make some mistakes. Find themselves off course with some damage maybe, and like I said when we started this thing, it's all about survival tonight. But the 12 is gonna have an issue there, coming out of the final chicane there. And he lets the 4 of Nick Kessler get by.
And as right now, the closest battle on track is your battle for 5th between Cedric Hunter and Ryan Decker. Decker in the other Lot 9 Brewing Company car is just slugging it out with the man from Canada, driving that 13. And every time he's brought that car out, he's put it on the podium. Hunter has. So something to kind of be mindful of tonight, as he's kind of setting his own pace right now, getting more comfortable with the track every lap. As Marconi now drops to 3rd. Looks like he may have had another slowdown penalty, as Javon Cherry starting to stretch his legs on him a little bit. But the top 3 not getting away from each other.
No, they're certainly not. I think you're right on that slowdown. That's what Marconi had to drop out of the lead, possibly even to let Kessler get by, but another one as well. So you have to drop back to 3rd, but you're right. They're not really pulling away from each other. There is quite a bit of a gap back to 4th with J.D. Woodward, about 7 seconds back. But even these 3 here, Woodward, Hunter, and Decker, 4th, 5th, and 6th, are even hanging in with each other. So there's some groups here that are getting spread out, but they're staying racy within each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Is the battle starting to pick up between Canada and the Australia, as Mark McFadden and Shane Newens in lockstep right now for the 7th spot. Now, both those, as Nick Wing has an off going in turn 1. But both McFadden, Newens, and Wilson in the 501, those guys are all playing right now for their playoff lives. Big trouble for the 501. And he eats Armco.
Taking a look at that.
Oi.
Yeah, a good amount of left front damage on that wall there for the 501. Getting off track a good piece.
The good news for him is they do have 1 fast repair in their pocket tonight. And the bad news for these guys, they have 4 total sets of tires. So the set that they started the race, which the set they qualified on, and then they've got 3 more sets in their pocket. Probably going to be a difficult time with 58 laps. Looks like a full fuel fill. But with the track temperature right now north of 100 degrees, the question is, how long are they going to be able to last on a set? As it looks like Hunter and Woodward going after it right now. Something happened with the 28 of Decker. He may have had a slowdown penalty. As, wow, Hunter tags that wall just before they came back out onto the NASCAR portion of the track.
Yeah, happened to tag that wall with our camera right on it there.
It's okay. His insurance will cover the new GoPro.
Like Trafari's having a little bit of an issue getting the feel for the track here, not getting enough practice in, definitely not having a helping hand in that.
This is not an easy track to learn.
Not at all. It really isn't.
And it looks deceptively easy, but once you get into big moment for Hunter coming through that final chicane, and he caught that sausage curb like we were warning about. big slowdown penalty for the driver of the 13, as he's looking to play spoiler here tonight as well. Got knocked out at the end of the last round of the playoffs. So Marconi, Hunter, and Nick Wing are the three that are looking to play spoiler here tonight. Marconi, Hunter, Pap, and Wing. All four of those guys are looking to play spoiler here tonight to really put the pressure on the rest of the field. But yeah, that was a big moment for the 13 coming through that final chicane.
Well, Nick Kessler is continuing to put down really fast laps and has continued to slowly gap Jovan Cherry and Greg McConey. Gap now just about 3 seconds back to second and third. Cedric Hunter's about 12 seconds back from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Is Hunter, Woodward, and Decker, 4th, 5th, and 6th, pretty much in lockstep right now. As I take that back, Woodward and Decker have both kind of dropped off the pace just a little bit. Looks like they may have maybe starting to experience some tire wear as we're 8 laps into this piece. 8 of 58. And oh yeah, Decker's having problems right now in that Chevy Camaro, not having a good time of it. And you can see a lot of damage on the back diffuser of that car. I'm thinking he hit those sausage curbs somewhere.
Well, it doesn't
and hit
take
him
much.
Square.
And if you hit him square, that's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get one of the high-speed drones, you can see that there's a ton of damage on the right front lower valance of that car. It's completely caved in. And, I mean, that's a tattletale that you've hit a sausage curb when you shouldn't have.
Yeah, looks like that bumper's just hanging on by a thread. So definitely possible suspension damage as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's the thing that next season the real World Cup drivers are going to have to be mindful of. With this car being 4-wheel independent suspension, you can't go rough riding like they've been used to for the past 70, 80, 70 years.
I hear a whole lot of, well, they don't make them like they used to is coming.
Well, that's the thing. When you've got a solid rear axle or a live axle like they've been running using the it's based on the Ford 9-inch rear end, you can get away with a lot with a Ford 9-inch.
Yeah, there's just a whole lot of solid steel in that thing.
Right. And it's a lot easier to change out a track bar that you may or may not have bent in an oops. You just unbolt it from the mount, put a new one in, and you've got the thing tracking straight or relatively straight again. With these cars, you've got to swap out an upper and lower control arm. Sometimes you've got to swap out the knuckle, and then hope that hope you get your camber and toe right when you do swap out those parts.
Oh, McFadden getting a little loose there, having a moment. I did, however, read that there is a little bit that they're doing with the front and rear end clips, how you can kind of disassemble and reassemble a lot easier, at the racetrack if you do have some trouble with, you can remove pretty much the whole front end or rear end a lot easier than you would be able to with the older generation cars. That'll help a little bit when you do get into some trouble, but the car itself is quite an amazing piece of machinery, and quite a bit of a step in the future. So I know it looks weird and there's a lot of differences, but I think we're gonna get used to it. Well, I guess we won't have a choice but to get used to it. But I'm excited to see what the new season's gonna hold with these cars.
I'm all for it. I mean, I don't think for a second that I'm a FUD, but there's gonna be a learning curve.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
As wow, what the hell happened to Connor Trafari? He's missing his hood.
Go back and take a look and see if we can catch it. He's been missing his hood for a while, but he has recently seen some off tracks, and I didn't want to really bring any light to the situation, but he's just having a rough day, and I think it has a lot to do with, like we were talking about, not having enough practice time
Oh,
at a crazy track.
got it wrong going into one and just ate the Tums heartburn wall of shame. But yeah, I mean, like I was starting to say, I'm all for progress. I applaud NASCAR for taking a big swing at it. What I would like to see, because right now, just about every major manufacturer across the planet, the major manufacturers, all have some form of a V8 engine. The only thing is there's only 3 that actually make a production pushrod engine like they're using. And those are the big 3 in the United States: GM, Ford Motor Company, and the Fiat Chrysler Group. If they were to open this up to an overhead cam engine, that would open the door for Nissan to be able to come in with their V8 right away. That would open the door for BMW, Mercedes, Hyundai, Mitsubishi, Porsche, Audi, Volkswagen, and it would really, it would open the field wide up, because then you'd be a lot more appealing to the major OEMs of win on Sunday, sell on Monday kind of deal. You still, then you can do the electronic fuel injection similar to what your car and my car have on the street. Yes, you would put restrictions on there of, how big can the throttle body be, how big can the injectors be. But if they opened it up like that, it would be more appealing to more manufacturers to want to come in and play in the sandbox.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's definitely something that NASCAR might want to look at in the future, in the real world, as Pap having trouble getting back onto the open section of the track. Trafari almost followed him into the wall there, as able to get the undercut, and missing that hood doesn't seem to be affecting Connor Trafari too much.
No, there's a lot of, as you were going on, I was looking around and seeing a lot of these cars are sustaining a good amount of damage, and it's not just 1 or 2 cars. Almost everybody's had some sort of brush in with something, and even some of these cars with a good amount of this damage they're doing fine out there. They're the 501 being one of them. The 501's got a good amount of dings all over this thing, and still able to keep a pretty good pace. The 9 was a good example. Connor Trafari here, who's got a good amount of damage all around that car. Like you said, he's even missing his hood. Is actually starting to get a grip on the track, I believe, as he's up to 8th place here.
Absolutely. It was a mad scramble to even get him into the session, as Kessler locks him up going into 1 from the lead, was able to get around the lap car of Nick Wing All 12 cars that started this event are still going around the track, although varying levels of damage on them. But the good news, like we mentioned earlier, is these guys do have a fast repair in their pocket, as JD Woodward and Ryan Decker just going after it right now. It looks like Woodward may have gotten a slowdown penalty coming through the final chicane, and Decker laid the chrome horn to him. Woodward almost ate the Tums wall of shame going through turn 1.
Let's take a look at it here. It looked like Decker not too happy with Woodward, but I'm curious to see what happened. 47's gonna have to, he's supposed to come to a stop there, or even a real big slowdown. But then I believe it continues here.
Yeah, Woodward completely blew through the chicane. Got the slowdown and didn't really slow down, which looks like it cheesed Decker off to no end.
Yeah, he ended up slowing down way later and at the wrong time, it looked like.
Yeah. And that's what that incident was on the front stretch, was Decker, laying the chrome horn to him going, get the hell out of my way. But looks like we might be getting ready to see some green flag pit stops.
Yeah, we're at lap 15 of 58 here. Still a good ways to go, but yeah, expect some of these drivers to start looking to eye up the entrance to pit road.
Absolutely. As looks like Cedric Hunter might be reeling in Greg Marconi for third, as that gap has come down from over a second to now about 3 car lengths.
Yeah, you are not wrong on that. Almost, it's actually one of the tightest battles on the track at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you got the one between Decker and Woodward, which that's not going anywhere.
Man, the Hunter locked it up. Sorry.
Yeesh. Full send it mode going into 1 though.
Like he's gonna take him here.
Marconi gave him plenty of room, knew he was coming, and you got to be wondering if that front end damage on Marconi. Do we have a helmet cam on the 12?
Well, we can go onboard,
And unfortunately, with the digital dash, we're not able to see water temps.
But the damage on the front is pretty substantial. I wouldn't be surprised if he is getting hot in there.
Yeah, so expect to see the 12 when he does come pit side for that tire and fuel stop. He might want to consider burning his fast repair. And all that damage really came from that lap 1, turn 1 incident that he had with Kessler, where he really laid the chrome horn into Kessler. And yeah, with as quickly as Cedric Hunter is starting to pull away from him, I dare say that Marconi is starting to limp a wounded car around. Now the question is, can he hang on until it does become time that he wants to go pit side without hand grenading that engine?
Like Woodward and Decker were going back and forth on the racetrack. Well, these two have been battling it out most of the race. But
Yeah,
Woodward
absolutely.
falling back now.
Looks like Woodward may have gotten another slowdown penalty. And, we know JD Woodward's not afraid to hustle a car.
No,
But,
that's certainly what he's doing. You got to certainly hustle your way around here. 17 turns, you're going to start getting tired, but you got to keep at it. It's the only way to get around here and actually keep a decent pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, Now, reminder to everybody that they are going to throw a competition caution somewhere in the lap 45 to 48 category, and we're going to be right around a 10 lap shootout to settle this one. So, the only thing you really want to do is just try to stay on the lead lap right now, and hopefully keep that fast repair in your pocket and use it for that final 10 laps. So you have a relatively clean car, fresh set of tires, fresh tank of fuel. You can make it to the end from there because we've already gone 17 laps under anger, and nobody has gone pit side yet. So something to be mindful of there. But I do want to thank everybody who is watching right now. We had one question about how to join the league or join this series. You would have to apply for next season. And I did post the website for the league, the official website, to get your entry in for next season. As
Jason Papp gonna get lapped right here by Nick Kessler.
And Kessler has cheese grated the right side or left side of that car, and I don't know where he did it.
Oh, it was early too.
But apparently, Brandon Lowe's has a big fan in the chat, as does Javon Cherry. Now, those two guys are normally teammates. However, Brandon Lowe's just took his show up points and said, "Yeah, you know what? You guys go do your thing."
Well, while we're riding on board with Jovan Cherry in the 48, get a pretty good view of this wild racetrack that they're running at here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's this uphill downhill section that leads back out onto the NASCAR track that is probably one of the more challenging portions, because the car gets incredibly light where he just came through, and it undulates through there. So as you start the uphill, you crest the hill, down to the left, back up, and back out onto the NASCAR portion of the track, or the oval portion of the track. You really have to be up on the wheel in that section.
I'll say one thing about this new car that's probably really great for this track is having that sequential gearbox.
Yeah.
Instead of having to hit that H pattern, that's definitely going to be a lot easier here.
As somebody that struggled when I was first learning how to heel toe, the sequential shifter definitely is going to help. And the other thing I heard that they were going to is, instead of having a sequential stick, they're talking about using dual clutch paddle shifting.
Okay.
Which, I can't say I'm opposed to that, considering most cars now come with that feature anyways.
Right.
You can still get an H pattern manual in many cars, or there's a few of them out there anyways. But for the most part, most of your high performance cars are coming through with some form of either paddle or button on the back of the steering wheel that you can shift with.
Like JD Woodward going to take it down pit road here, lap 20.
Same with Brandon Wilson. Both those guys in. And looks like Wilson's trying to fix the damage au naturel and not burn his fast repair. Let's see what happens with Woodward here.
It's a pretty good, smart move for the 501 and Brandon Wilson. We are definitely going to have that competition caution, so probably going to save it for there. What'd you see?
Javon Cherry just went for a wild one through that final chicane. Oh! Mark McFadden just ate the Tums wall of shame.
Oh, he sure did. Mark McFadden getting a hard lick. Let's take a look at that. Car's got enough damage there to definitely warrant the fast repair. This is not going to help him. He gets it locked up. I think that was about where Kevin Harvick wrecked, didn't it?
I think so.
Locking up those brakes.
As JD Woodward back out on track, as he is now all over the back bumper of Javon Cherry. Now Woodward does have the fresh tires. Cherry, though, a little bit lighter on the fuel load, able to hustle that 48 around. And meanwhile, Nick Kessler 8 seconds up the road from Cherry.
Yeah, he's sitting comfortable. He doesn't have to push it. He's got no pressure. He got a good 7, almost 8 second, or wow. As we say that, he comes barreling down into pit road, wondering if he got it slowed down in time.
Looks like Cherry's coming too. And Cherry just barely getting it woed in time. So
that's number 1 and 2. They're having a little bit of trouble getting slowed down. You can see just how difficult it is to get into this pit road.
Absolutely. As Kessler finally hits his box, let's see if any penalty is going to happen for the number 4. It's going to hand the lead of the race over to the 13 of Cedric Hunter. As right side's on, left side's going on. Kessler down and away in 14-8. Left side's on for Cherry, 15 dead. So almost a half second to the good on pit road for Nick Kessler. As looks like the only other one taking it pit side is going to be the 98 of Shane Newens. As this is turning into a fun one, trying to, do the high-powered gazintas, or math as some people call it, to try to figure out who's in, who's not in. As looks like Connor Trafari starting to get a hang of this track as he goes purple in Sector 2. Fastest second sector of the event so far. Oh! Cherry just ate the backstretch wall on cold tires.
Take a look at just what happened here. Not a great view there. That's unfortunate for the 48.
Wow. That was big. And he's going to now have to come back in and burn that fast repair. Not that he wanted to.
That's a hard lick. Greg McConey coming down pit road.
Hopefully Cherry remembers to uncheck his tires. As Ryan Decker bringing the 28 down pit road as well. So
Jovan Cherry taking that fast repair. And you got that hard left too getting off of pit road. How hard is that in one of these cars?
It's not easy, but it's easier now than it used to be back when NASCAR didn't use this track. Because I would think I was mentioning to you before the race that this used to be one of the tracks that you had to run in the Mazda rookie class to get out of rookies. And there was no wall separating, to have you blend coming out of turn 2. It was, you come straight out of the pits onto the track into turn 1. And that was terrifying at times.
Like Mark McFadden will take it down pit road in the number 5. Cedric Hunter still out leading this thing, has not pit yet. And then you got Jason Papp in 8th, and in 10th place Nicholas Wing, the only drivers left yet to pit.
As yeah, absolutely. And you got to wonder how deep is the fuel tank on this thing? Because so far, Cedric Hunter, almost 25 laps into this piece already. Working lap 24. So, I mean, this is some damn good fuel mileage for the 13.
Yeah, we'll see just how long he can stretch it, and how much advantage the 4 has on fresh tires.
Looks like 2.25 seconds is Hunter's last lap. Well, he picked up the pace there. That was a 24.8 to Kessler. Does it again. First one of the event under anger to go sub 123. So about 2 seconds quicker a lap.
Jason Papp's going to take the number 1 machine down to pit road, get his scheduled stop done. Mark McFadden's going to follow him in.
So my trading paints aren't working properly right now. Do you have Jason Papp in the Lucky Charms car or the Fruit Loops car this week?
I've got him in the Lucky Charms car.
I love that paint scheme.
But is it the right one, though?
It's the right one if that's the one you're seeing.
Copy that.
Because my trading paints hates me.
I think Trading Paints hates a lot of people.
Yeah. Anyway, Cedric Hunter continues to show the way in the 13. Kessler sitting comfortably in second right now. If I'm seeing this right, yeah, Kessler's 29 seconds to the good over Greg Marconi.
Yes, you are correct.
Let me say it again, folks. 29 seconds to the good. And Hunter still has to come down pit road. So the effective race lead is basically sitting in second place right now. And he can see Hunter in front of him.
Yeah, setting a blistering pace here at Charlotte Roval. Nick Kessler is in that 4. Probably the car to beat tonight. Jason Papp having some trouble. Just came back out of pit road, possibly cold tires here. Yeah, it's getting too hot to the...
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that wasn't good. But, let's talk for a second about the remaining schedule, because we are cutting heads here tonight for the playoffs. And we're only taking 8 into the next round to compete for the championship. We've got Texas next week, Kansas in 2 weeks, Martinsville the first week in November. We cut heads at Martinsville. Now, Cliff, I don't know about you, but I really don't want to be going into the paperclip knowing that I've got to win to move on to Phoenix to try to score a championship for this league.
Definitely not the best track to need to fight for a win at. Would not feel comfortable with that at all.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you take a look at the entirety of this playoff. The playoffs started at Darlington, then they went to Richmond, then they went to Bristol. So the first round was basically Murderer's Row. This round, you had Vegas and then 2 wild card races back to back with Talladega last week and the Roval this week. And Jason Papp was lucky enough to have a teammate behind him coming out of the tri-oval as Greg Marconi pushed Jason Papp to a win. Now Marconi, of course, won at Vegas. So with 2.5 miles coming up, you kind of got to feel more like, Marconi might have the momentum going in Phoenix.
Yeah, there's no doubt there. While you're talking, Nick Kessler took that lead back, and Cedric Hunter's now going to finally take that 13 down pit road.
28 laps in. So, I mean, that's yeoman's work right there for the Canadian crippler, Cedric Hunter. But yeah, Kessler taking the lead back over. Marconi should jump up into second as Hunter still in his pit box. Yep, there goes Marconi as he flashes by into turn one. Catches the sausage curve, able to keep it out of the wall, though.
I'll say he's beating the heck out of that 12 machine.
And he still hasn't burned his fast repair either.
That's good, because I think that car is going to need it by the time he finally gets it to pit road. If he doesn't take it this time, I'd be surprised. He might opt to just take a little bit of the optional there and save it for later, knowing that competition caution is coming out. But man, that 20 car's been over every curb here, and you can definitely tell.
Well, if he can avoid hand grenading the engine before the competition caution, which should be in about 20 laps time, that should be the money stop for everybody. So expect to see a lot of fresh race cars after that money stop. Now, the only one that's behind the 8-ball right now is actually the 48 of Javon Cherry, because we saw him have trouble after the pit stop on cold tires coming into the backstretch chicane, ate the inside wall. So I believe he's the only one that has burned their fast repair so far.
Well, Jason Papp just took it back down pit road and actually did just that.
Okay, so now it's Papp and Cherry are the only two so far that have actually burned their fast repairs. Everybody
Nick
else.
Kessler and Woodward side by side here, battling it out. Nick Kessler in the lead. Woodward trying to stay on that lead lap right here.
Yeah, and Woodward had just gotten his lap back when he came down about 2 laps before Kessler did. Got back on the lead lap and now is not going to be a happy camper. And with the way that, and it looks like Kessler may have, yes, Kessler burned his fast repair that last time through pit because there's no more damage on the back bumper of that number 4. But,
yeah.
With as many times as Woodward has blown through that chicane, and it looks like Kessler may have tagged a wall somewhere or another car, little bit of right front fender damage on the 4. But with as many times as Woodward has blown through that chicane, I really would not have wanted to be in front of him. And Woodward just tagged something.
Yeah, good amount of right side damage now on that
car. Oh no. I heard somebody hit something as Kessler and Woodward were coming through.
Kessler's car seems to be okay. I don't think it was him, but 47 and JD Woodward's definitely got some substantial front end damage on that now.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like Shane Newens has put it on the hauler.
No, Newens is still out here in the 98.
Oh, he did have
Brandon Wilson, the 501 is off track. Jason Papp getting into trouble on the racetrack.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on here.
There sure is. I was waiting for you to say that. The one car's been, he came back down to pit road, got a fast repair, and now is off track again there. Having a tough time in that one.
Got it all wrong going through that backstretch chicane. Came to a stop, took the penalty like a man, and is rolling on now. But that was a big moment. That could have, he did everything he could to try to avoid hitting those sausage curbs. So hats off to Jason Papp for being able to do so. But
Yeah, we did talk about that too. You got to avoid those at all costs. That will ruin your car and your day.
Absolutely. As looks like the battle for 8th between Mark McFadden and Shane Newens is here comes Kessler to try to put
Oh, the 90's
Wayne.
going to catch those curbs.
Looks like just a little bit of right front damage on the 90. And he's going to bring it pit side, and looks like he's going to burn his fast repair. No, he's coming in for his first pit stop.
He sure is. Nicholas swinging that 90. I mean, good time now, though. Riding over those sausage curbs is going to definitely warrant some repair work there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's surprising. We didn't even realize that he had not pulled it in yet.
30 laps. Now, mind you, he's a couple laps down.
He's going to grab that fast repair.
But he just did 30 laps on a tank at Go Fast and kept the tires underneath that car.
That's a good way to put it.
That's amazing. Next closest battle on track isn't really a battle yet, but Javon Cherry is steadily gaining ground on Greg Marconi for second. As again, Marconi just trying to survive right now until the competition caution in about 15 laps before he has to burn his fast repair.
Cedric Hunter's gonna run the fastest lap of the race, I believe.
That is a new fast lap of a 1:22.66. That's just showing off. That's all that is. That's showing off at that point. You know, had he been able to do that in qualifying, that last lap for Hunter would have put him tied with Nick Kessler for pole position. Good grief.
Well, it is a fast lap, but that's only one fast lap. You know, unfortunately, you got to link a whole bunch of them together. Cedric Hunter doing a pretty good job holding 4th place. But he is a good ways behind the leader. About a minute. Well, where are we? Yeah, about a minute behind Nick Kessler.
Well, here's the thing. Fastest lap of the race.
Oh, the 4 is going to miss the chicane there in the back stretch. He's got to come to a full stop and get back going. Fortunately, he's got a half second or 30-second gap back to second place.
Right. So, I mean, he could take probably about 5 to 10% off the pushing. But there is a bonus point for fastest lap of the race.
We got 25 to go here. We are starting to get close to that competition caution, which is going to stack them back up.
Yes, it is.
So really no huge reason for Nick Kessler to overdrive his car and push it from here until that competition caution.
Pretty much. I mean, he can kind of put it on cruise control right now. But there's a bonus point for leading a lap, which right now Marconi, Kessler, and Hunter all have one of those bonus points. There's a bonus point for leading the most laps, which at the pace we're going right now, it looks like Nick Kessler's going to lock that one in. And it's a 5-point bonus for pole position. And it's I take that back. It's also a 5-point bonus for most laps led. So, you know, as long as he can continue the pace he's going right now, that's 10 bonus points on top of the 43 points for the race win. So, you know, Kessler's doing everything he needs to do to guarantee he moves on to that next round as Kessler brings it down pit road.
Yeah, I'm a little baffled here.
Not exactly sure what the reasoning is there.
Yeah, Nick Kessler, our race leader, is going to pull it down pit road for really unknown reasons at the moment. We'll have to keep our eyes on that.
It looks like tires. The
Yes.
question is he going to take fuel? Because if he takes tires and no fuel, I mean, maybe just a little bit of fuel and damage repair. That's what he's doing. He's trying to get some damage repair done.
So the car must not have been driving very well. McConey's going to get into some trouble there while we were looking at that.
So, bonus point for Javon Cherry for leading the lap now. As he was able to get by Greg Marconi.
Yeah, McConey had himself a moment there on racetrack, getting some more damage to that front end. He's just hanging on now till that competition caution comes out, get everybody gathered back up. Oh, the 48.
He just got more airtime than a skateboard at the X Games.
We're going right back to take a look at that. This is the reason you got to watch out for these cautions. Or not cautions, but these curbs.
Yeah, those caution curbs will hurt every time.
The 48 is going to get some air on that one.
Doesn't seem to be affecting him too much. Whoa!
Yeah.
I believe that was Shane Newen's nosing it into the inside wall through one. Oh. Overcooks it, bangs off the Tums wall. Actually just missed the Tums wall. And while he was chasing it, eats the concrete barrier separating pit road.
Almost backs it right up into the 48 as he came flying by.
I did notice that as Marconi bringing the 12 down pit road.
Looks like he's actually coming out now.
What just happened to Kessler? Kessler's been
on pit road for 2.5 minutes.
Yes, he has.
Looks like possibly having some issues maybe with some hardware at home. Now, we talked about the internet connection being a kind of a wrench in the spokes at times. I mean, we almost had a little bit of an issue before this broadcast got going. But you can also have trouble with wheels, pedals, just about anything.
That's a possibility. But I mean, his connection's looking all right now. Not sure what's going on there. As he's now sitting a lap down. So I believe he's got 7 bonus points currently. Because the 5 for pole, 1 for leading a lap, and I believe he's already clinched most laps led. So that would be 7 bonus points added to no matter where he finishes. And coming into tonight, he was on the outside looking in to get into the round of 8. So
a big shout out to Connor Trafari, up 5 spots now to 4th in this number 9. I think he's starting to get that bad boy figured out. Works his way up to 4th place.
And that's the thing with Connor. If he gets a little bit of confidence, that kid becomes very dangerous for the rest of the field because All you need is to give a 16-year-old a little bit of confidence and hang on to your hats, kids, because he's going to set the world on fire.
He's doing it without a hood, I'll note.
Yeah, he still hasn't burned his fast repair. But if you are watching right now and you like what you're seeing, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, share, turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action, as we've got a double header for you tomorrow with the UK Sim Racing Series MX5 Pro Cup. That'll be Jason and Jake on the call for that one, scheduled to roll off at, I believe, 1:30 Eastern time over here in the States anyways. Let me double check that time for you. Yes, UK Sim Series 2:50 Eastern time. And I'm not sure why it's not scheduled, but there is the Cliff, correct me if I'm wrong, but is Western States off this week?
They might be. Yes, there is one of our series that is off this week. I can't put a name on it though. I'm not positive.
Well, I know Sim Racer's Edge is off on Wednesday night, as they just finished a 4-week back-to-back-to-back. They're taking an off week before they close out their season. But I wasn't sure if Western States was off tomorrow night or not. But that should, if that one does go off as planned, that'll be Ben and I on the call for that one, scheduled to go off at 10:05 Eastern time. Then Wednesday night we have the Endurance for Amateurs. That'll be round number 5 at the Red Bull Ring. I believe that'll be Angel on the call for that one, and I'm not sure who's going to be joining him in the booth. And then Thursday comes the fun one. TOB Dirt Night, as the 410 Sprints take it to the Last Great Coliseum at Bristol Motor Speedway. That's scheduled to roll off at 9 p.m. That'll be Ben and myself on the call for that one. And immediately following that will be the Big Block Modifieds from USA International down in Lakeland, Florida. And then be sure to join us on Friday night, as it'll be Ryan and myself in the booth for the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series. Round number 12 from Daytona in the Xfinity car. Action all around that one. And then Saturday, Jake and Jason in the booth for the E-Formula Series 4, E-Formula Series Season 4 Japanese Grand Prix from Twin Ring Motegi. That's a 1:30 p.m. Eastern time over here in the States. So, again, action-packed week left here, Cliff.
Yeah, it's week after week too here on the ESPN. A lot of action coming to you all week long, every week. So definitely make sure you like and subscribe, as you said. But Tony, how about we step away for a moment? We'll go side by side so the folks at home don't miss any of the action before we get to this competition caution and go green to the end.
Well, let's hold on the break until we get to the competition caution. That way we'll have plenty of time to rack them, stack them, and fire it again.
I like the way your mind works.
I'll thank Greg Marconi, because he's the one that suggested it to me.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll wait till the 45 lap mark or so. Whenever they do throw that competition caution, get racked back up, and it'll be a 10-lap shootout.
Absolutely.
And, Jovan Cherry going to be the one everyone's chasing at the moment.
17.5 seconds to the good over current second place Cedric Hunter, as Marconi had gone down pit road. Looks like fuel only for Marconi, just to make sure. Oh, contact going into the chicane! Holy cow!
Well, I happened to look away for a moment there on the cameras.
Go ahead and take a look at what just happened between JD Woodward and your race leader, Javon Cherry, coming into the chicane on the backstretch.
Another airborne. We're going to slow this one down too. The 47 of JD Woodward going for a wild ride right here.
Rips the entire rear clip off that car and a lot of damage on the 48. Or, sorry, 46.
47.
40, yeah. I can math, really, I can.
We're getting there.
48 of Javon Cherry, just a little bit of nose damage. He blew through the chicanes to avoid the sausage curbs and an airborne JD Woodward. That would have definitely ended poorly had Cherry tried to make the chicane, as Nick Kessler just retired.
Yeah,
Nick Kessler is out.
Yeah, unfortunately for the 4, not what they wanted to see, but the 48's going to enjoy that, every moment of that, and hopefully go on to take this one away from him. But JD Woodward, I just wanted to bring a little bit of a note here. What could happen to your car if you take it off of those bumps and get airborne here at the Charlotte Roval?
Yeah, those yellow sausage curbs just before the chicane on the backstretch are absolutely no joke. And you can see just the amount of damage those things have done to the upper body, and I dare say that under tray on that car is completely annihilated right now. Wow. So as we close in on the competition caution here, Javon Cherry shows the way. Cedric Hunter sitting comfortably in second. 15 seconds to the trail of your leader, Javon Cherry, but almost a full 20 seconds over third place, Greg Marconi. This field's getting right now anyways. It's more strung out than a methadone clinic.
Yeah, it sure is. Road course racing at its finest. Everyone just about strung out, and probably very, not cautiously, but definitely want to see that competition caution come out right away. They are definitely ready to take a little breather here. Come and get any damage they've got fixed up. Use up their fast repair if they've got one. And get ready to finish this one out.
Well, they just closed pit road until the caution comes out. So I dare say we're getting ready to see that caution at the end of lap 44. So they normally close pit road 2 laps before any competition cautions, as Cherry starts lap 44, as does Hunter. So expect that competition caution to be as soon as Javon Cherry crosses the stripe to put 44 in the books. And big thank you to Nick Kessler for taking over race control duties. And
I think we maybe experienced a little technical difficulties on the YouTube side of things. Apologize to those watching at home. Hopefully we can hang on to the end here. The competition caution will come out.
So Javon Cherry is going to lead them around as soon as the field catches the Porsche 911 GT pace car. And we are going to take this moment to step away, pay a couple of bills, get some fluids into us to hydrate us for the remaining 10 laps of this piece.
And we'll go side by side. You won't miss any of this action here from the racetrack. We'll be right back. And back live at the racetrack with 14 to go under our competition caution. Jovan Cherry currently leading here as Nick Kessler had taken it to pit road and calling it a day, having some type of issues unknown at the moment. Cedric Hunter's going to roll second behind Jovan Cherry, and Greg McConey is going to hold that third spot.
Expect to see wholesale pit stops this time around, as pit road should be open now that the field has caught the pace car. And it looks like Cherry's bringing it down. Hunter is taking it down. Yeah, everybody on the lead lap bringing it down pit road.
Yeah, really no reason not to. Especially it's going to be this is going to be the only caution to end this day. So the next flag that we see fly is going to be the green and the white and then the checkered. Once we get going back here with about 10 to go. So this is it for pit stops, unless you're going to wreck it out and come down and get some damage repaired. But for all intents and purposes, this is it.
And either I'm seeing things or Jovan Cherry's pit crew are wearing Imperial Stormtrooper uniforms.
You're probably not seeing things.
Okay, then.
You are probably seeing his pit crew. Yeah, some wild things happen out here.
Yeah, I mean it's fun to see what people come up with for their uniforms. And those of us who are a little more on the creative side sometimes get scolded by the iRacing powers that be, as I was in an official race one time, and unbeknownst to me, it was broadcasted, and I received a notification in my inbox that thanked me for my creativity, but suggested that I don't run that driver's uniform again, because I put a print on the fire suits of the pit crew that looked like a woman in a bikini.
Aha. Well, fair enough.
And iRacing was not happy with me for that one.
Well, hey,
they were even less happy when they read what was on the back of my truck.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I won't get into that one.
Well, pretty good question from the chat, Tony. Is there a lucky dog here at the road course?
No. It doesn't appear to be.
Well, Robbie, unfortunately, it doesn't appear to be. Shout out to you out in the chat anyway. Thanks for joining and chatting with us. Also making note of JD's Dukes of Hazzard there.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing that was missing was the Dixie horn when you were doing the replay.
We'll have to figure that out.
If we were in TeamSpeak, I have a soundboard.
Oh, there you go.
But we're not in TeamSpeak. We're in Discord, and I am still learning the nuances of Discord, and I don't believe there's a soundboard option for Discord. As the lights go out on the base car, a couple of cars getting the wave around there, as Javon Cherry going to lead them back to the green. Cedric Hunter going to be starting outside row 1. Greg Marconi in third. Decker, where he started this piece, sitting in a very comfortable 4th position.
Those top 4 cars, too, looking pretty clean.
I stand corrected. There was a lucky dog. JD Woodward is back on the lead lap.
Nice. All right. Well, hey. Robbie asked why. Well, we got your answer. Why? Because we were wrong. There is, and here he comes.
I'm wrong most of the time, but I sell it convincingly. But how about the drive from Connor Trafari after getting 0 practice, starting tail end of the field, is up to 6th?
Yeah, still doesn't have that hood either. So either burnt his fast repair earlier on and or just forgot to use it. But nonetheless, up to 6th place here.
That's kind of wild. Interesting. So this is why I'm a fan of no cautions on road courses, solely because it takes a while. That was the last pace lap was a 3-minute pacing lap. So luckily that's only the one competition caution that we have to deal with, as Cherry gonna have the button when we do go back to green as the field working its way down the back straightaway here at Charlotte. And through that ever dangerous chicane, we've seen more problems on that backstretch chicane than I was expecting. The final chicane leading back to the start finish line, I was expecting more problems out of that chicane than we've had. So, Cliff, it's a big shocker that we've had so many problems on the backstretch.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. We've seen them taking it Dukes of Hazzard style. A lot more back there than we expected. But these guys are going to have, 11 to go. And they're going to give it everything they got for these next 11 laps, especially now that Nick Kessler has retired. It kind of gives a new light to a lot of these drivers, I think.
Side by side through the chicane, and around goes Cherry.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Like Cedric Hunter had some issues as well. He had to come to a stop, it looks like. All kinds of trouble on the racetrack. That puts Connor Trafari up to the front spot. What in the heck just happened?
Well, from what I was able to gather, yeah, as Cherry was trying to lay the power down, Cedric Hunter just punted him coming out of that chicane as they were taking the green.
And the 12 of Marconi gets into trouble, hits the Tums wall. The 47 and the 5 get collected, and that's where Trafari and Decker got through. Wow.
Well, that completely changes the complexity of this race.
I mean, if you could have paid me $100 and I would have told you that would never happen at the end of this race, to see the 9 of Connor Trafari stay on top of things, have trouble with his internet, not get to practice, and then come out in the lead here with 11 to go after some mayhem right there in this restart after the competition caution.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but Connor's one of those guys that if he's still running and on the lead lap, never count him out. Some might call him cocky, but it ain't bragging if you can back it up. And time again, Connor Trafari backs up what he says.
Well, he certainly found himself in the right place at the right time, coming into, geez, I'm not even sure what corner that was.
That is 5 and 6.
The 5 and 6, a few cars they're having some trouble. Trafari happens to thread the needle through, finds himself going from 6th to 1st in a hurry.
Absolutely, as looks like the battle's starting to get hot and heavy between Marconi and Cherry as well.
Jason Papp having trouble on track.
Yeah, Pap's spending an extended amount of time on pit road. Being as he's got a win in his pocket, I'm kind of surprised that he's still continuing to run.
Well, probably one of these type of drivers that knows, any time in the seat on any racetrack is practice time, and this type of course requires plenty of it. He knows he's going to visit this track again in his career. It doesn't behoove him to just park it, although I'm sure he wants to at this point.
Absolutely, as Marconi and Cherry just throwing hand grenades at each other right now as they are trying to get this one sorted out. They are coming up on some lap traffic. That is Shane Newens in front of them, but more importantly, that's Ryan Decker in front of Newens. Decker currently sitting in the number 2 slot. But Cherry gets it all wrong going into the uphill.
Yeah, Jovan Cherry's driving the wheels off this 48. He just lost the lead on that competition start. That was supposed to be a nice, easy start for the 48. Was leading before it, and that was very unexpected for this team. So he's driving his heart out right now, trying to get back up to where he believes he belongs, and where he rightfully does.
Well, here's the question: as the 13's the one that punted him on the initial on that restart, are we taking bets on whether or not we're going to see a receipt given should the 13 get back to the 48 and the 48 is going to take a shot at him?
Well, I'll tell you this, Cedric Hunter puts down a fast lap that time by, so he is definitely gaining on him, and you may be right. This one may not be over.
Please tell me I'm seeing things. 121.98 for Hunter.
I mean, that's what I'm seeing on my end.
Good grief.
So I don't know where that's coming from, but maybe that anger's got something to do with it.
Big problems for Ryan Decker in the 28 as he now drops to the number 5 slot as Marconi, Cherry, and Hunter all got by him. But what I'm wondering is, if you're Cherry, do you let Hunter get in front of you now and then just blast him?
Well, here he comes now, down on the bottom side.
Let's find out.
Hunter's going to take that bottom side through the oval. It's by him pretty clean.
Yeah, Cherry not really close enough to do anything with it. But just as I say that, as Greg Marconi sitting in second, almost 8 seconds back, or 7.5 seconds anyways, back from Connor Trafari, who is just starting to walk away with this thing.
Hunter's going to get by Marconi here, getting in. Did I just see that?
Yes, you did.
Oh.
Javon Cherry's night come to an end as he eats the Tums Wall of Shame.
Yeah, he's going to lock him up hard here.
Yeah, that's not something you really want to have happen.
Yeah,
So
we've seen that a number of times already tonight. That is a treacherous corner right there.
if Connor Trifari can hang on for 6 more laps, he will come out of here with the race win, guaranteeing his ticket punched into the round of 8. If he doesn't, he'll tie. Excuse me. He'll tie Cedric Hunter for biggest mover of the event. As right now, Trifari is up 8, Hunter is up 6. If Hunter gets by Trifari, which that's a big ask, as he's 7 seconds up the road from Hunter right now, they'll tie for +7 and split that bonus point. And then with the night that Trifari has had, it's going to be close on points. But we are going to find out in 6 very short laps. As Trifari he's hustling that hoodless car around this place. And that, that's something we're definitely going to have to ask him in the post-race interview, should we get a chance to talk to him about, did he burn his fast repair early and we missed it?
Yeah, absolutely. Where did you lose your hood? And why didn't you replace it?
I dare say he lost the hood when he nosed it into the Tums Wall of Shame early in the event. But Connor's one of those guys that, he likes to, flirt with disaster and make sure that that fast repair box is unchecked. He may have forgotten to just check it.
Sure. McConey also...
5 laps to go, and Cedric Hunter has already dug a full second off of Trifari's lead and has gained half a second on Greg Marconi. So the big question is, a second quicker a lap, it's going to be close.
Yeah, and Hunter's got the fastest car out there. He's put down the fastest lap of the race, and his last lap was faster than anyone out there.
By a full second. A 123 to a 122. Trifari with the 123, Hunter with the 122, Marconi again with the 123. So, yeah, definitely the 3 fastest cars on track right now are running first, second, and third. And unfortunately, time is starting to run out if you are Cedric Hunter. And, he would love nothing more than to play spoiler here tonight, being as he was knocked out in the last round and did not make it to the round of 12, as Trifari is racing for his shot at the championship tonight, trying to punch his ticket into the round of 8. The only 2 guys currently that are safe are Greg Marconi and Jason Papp. And they won at Vegas and Talladega, so there's a lot of guys here that they might not be in a must-win situation, but they're darn close to it. As we are 4 laps to go, and Hunter can see Trifari on some of these straightaways.
Yeah, Hunter is shaved off another second off that gap. If he continues to keep doing what he's doing, we're going to have a wild last lap, I'm telling you right now.
Well, they were almost dead even during that first sector of the track. Let's see what the second sector looks like for both of these guys.
Trifari's got to try to make no mistakes here.
All he's got to do is just stay calm, cool, and collected. Half a second to the good for Hunter in the second sector. And let's see what the third sector looks like. Almost dead even in the second sector. Last lap for Trafari, 1:23.26. Hunter just did another 1:21.
Jeez. Yeah,
Wow.
he is coming. Well, he knows time is running out. He knows he can run the laps. He can run these fast laps. He's just got to be smart about it and see what he can put down and try to catch him here.
Absolutely, but he has 3.5 seconds to make up and only 3 laps to do it. It's going to be close. And like we've said time and time again, catching somebody is one thing. Getting by a hungry driver that is racing for their playoff chances is something completely different. Trafari with a little bit of a wiggle on that chicane down the back straightaway, but able to keep it calm, cool, and collected. Gave up a quarter of a second through that sector. Nice and tidy through that front stretch chicane. And let's see what the lap times are looking like. 1:23 to a 1:22. Almost a full second gained for Hunters. Popsicle sticks in the air, 2 laps to go, and lap traffic doing the nice thing and getting the heck out of the way. Thank you, Mark McFadden. You're a gentleman driver all around. Appreciate that. Trying to not mess up this battle for the race win, as Trafari knows he's just got to hang on for 3 more miles.
Yeah, about a lap and a half as they come down the back stretch to get into the back chicane. The 13's about a 1.8 second gap behind the 9. And he's just hoping that Trafari makes a mistake somewhere along this last lap. It's really going to be the easy way for Hunter to get to him. But if he does catch him, he's going to have to try to pass him. As you said, catching someone is different than passing someone here for sure.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure Hunter's just waiting for and hoping for a mistake by the 9.
Well, we're about to find out in just about 2.25 miles, as Trafari only gave up half a second on that lap. The gap is now 2 3/4 seconds back to Cedric Hunter. Hunter can see Trafari, but I don't think he's gonna have. Trafari's gonna have to have a major mistake for Hunter to catch him. Right now, Greg Marconi safely in 3rd, and Trafari just doing everything he can to hang on to it, and that gap is not tightening by a lot. Maybe a couple tenths is all that Cedric Hunter is able to reel in so far, as through the backstretch chicane for the final time, Connor Trafari shows the way, coming back into oval turn number 3. 3 more corners to go.
1 more chicane for the 9.
And that's it. And across the chicane for the final time, from the last starting position to the race win, we're going to start calling this kid the Iceman, because he stayed calm, cool, and collected in those closing laps. Coming home with the victory. Congratulations, Connor Trafari. Cedric Hunter hanging on for 2nd. Greg Marconi in 3rd. Ryan Decker 4th. J.D. Woodward, last car on the lead lap, in 5th. Mark McFadden 6th. 7th goes to Shane Newens. Jason Papp in 8th, and the last car still running as he was able to get back out on the track was the 25 of Brandon Lowe's. Connected at the very last second just to get some laps in, so major connection issues. Lowe's finishing 54 laps down, but still finishing. And
Oh, pretty wild ride from that 9 machine tonight. Our hats go off to him.
Absolutely. As he gets ready to burn them down, we are going to as he does his celebratory donuts on the front straightaway. Connor Trafari, we're going to start calling you the Iceman, whether you like it or not, because for you to stay as calm, cool, and collected as you did, missing your hood for most of this event and coming home with the victory here tonight to cement your place in the round of 8. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a very up and down race, considering I wasn't able to get any practice earlier. From going and having to take my fast repair lap on turn 1 to hitting the wall in turn 1 and losing my hood to somehow winning this race. It was just a very crazy race.
Well, talk us through when the seas just parted on that restart for you. What was going through your mind when you saw all hell starting to break loose around you?
Yeah, so I first saw Jovan and Cedric. I think Jovan spun out and then Cedric pulled off. So I was like, okay. I was very confused when that happened. And then I knew I had to try sending on Greg. Then when I saw him lock with the brakes and just slam the wall and take out like a few more cars, I knew I had like a really good shot at the win. So that'll just give me a huge gap.
Well, Connor, you were able to hang on, and I don't know if you realized just how quickly Hunter was gaining on you in those closing laps. Another couple laps, you might have been in trouble, son.
Oh yeah, he was definitely faster that final run. I was just trying to take it easy, make sure I didn't make any big mistakes and just throw the race away like I did at Watkins Glen a little bit earlier. So he was definitely faster, but if he got to me, I think it would have been a very fun race.
Now, we saw your teammate Nick Kessler lead quite a bit of this race tonight. Can you give us any indication as to what happened to the 4?
I think he, coming out of the backstretch chicane, he was going to shift up to 5th gear or something, and I think he shifted down to 4th gear and blew up his engine, and he already used his fast repair the pit stop before, so that basically took him out of the race.
All right. Well, Connor, moving forward, you've now made it guaranteed into the round of 8. First race being next week at Texas. Your thoughts going into the mile and a half in the Lone Star State?
I think it would just be like all the other mile and a half, just like a single file race, and just I don't know. I think it'll just be a very boring race, but it'll definitely be like a draft dependent race.
All right. Well, Connor, before we let you go celebrate with the rest of your team, who do you need to thank for tonight?
I want to thank my teammate Nick Kessler, my other teammates that I raced with on Fridays, Zishan, and Zach, who's been coaching some football on Fridays, so I haven't seen him in a while, but whenever he comes back, that'll be very fun. You guys for broadcasting, Circle B Diecast, Rowdy Energy, Irish and I Flag, Butt Kicker, and Midwest Mirror Customs for sponsoring the league, and my main sponsor, Lot 9 Brewing, where you have a breast cancer awareness special paint scheme for tonight.
I did notice that, and thank you for doing so, Connor. Looking forward to seeing what you can do in the round of 8, as you're going to have 3 shots at trying to make your way into the season finale at Phoenix. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
So that was our race winner, Connor Trafari. And Calvin, I believe you have our second place finisher with you now.
Hey, Cedric Hunter, Cliff up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, wild finish there. And, well, I should say wild restart after the competition caution. Set you back a little bit there, but then you were driving the wheels off of that thing. Take us through your final few laps after that competition caution.
Yeah, well, going green, I got into the back of Javon. I'm not quite sure. I haven't looked at what happened exactly. I have to go back and check it out. From my perspective, though, before looking at it, I assume he probably just hit the curb on the inside, and it just seemed like he just parked in front of me, which, um, again, that's just what I'm assuming at the moment. So, I mean, I have really great respect for Jovan. I know he's probably definitely one of the favorites to win the championship, and I know he's in the points and in the playoffs and stuff like that. So um, I didn't want to get into him. I apologize to him. So I parked and I gave him the position back, and that's not the way I want to race him or anyone else here. Especially like I'm just coming here to hopefully win the race, but just have fun. Um, After that, though, after that little incident, it was just I kind of just reset it and just tried to run those guys down. The first part of the race was just me basically practicing. I think I ran like 5 laps of practice before the session, but other than that, I was just coming in here completely green. Um, so I'm really happy about that caution. It just allowed to reset the race for me. We had a speeding penalty uh, before the caution and stuff like that in the first stage, if you will. That kind of screwed me. I think I could have definitely been the leader if that wasn't the case. But we got so close to Trafari, man. It was. I think it was just one mistake on my part coming to the white flag. I got way too much of the curb um, in the first chicane, so that definitely cost me. I would say probably a half a second to a second. So it prevented me from getting into striking distance, but awesome job to Connor. He capitalized, in the perfect way, I guess, for him. So worked out
Yeah,
for him.
absolutely. And you were charging there at the end. Probably could have got it done with a couple more laps. Unfortunately, ran out of time. But heck of a run at the end. Congrats to that. Congrats to the P2. And hopefully we'll be able to talk to you again next week. But anyone you want to give a shout out to before we send you back to celebrate?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to give a huge shout out to the guys that showed up tonight. It sucks I can't make it on a regular basis anymore, just with work and stuff like that. But like tonight, I was happy to show up, and it was a really good race, and I'm happy that I came. I want to thank you guys for broadcasting and doing what you guys do. I can't wait to go take a look. I'm sure it was a really entertaining race to watch, so I'm excited for that. Thank you to all the admins and the series sponsors. So we got Circle B Diecast, Rowdy Energy, iRacing, iFlags, Butt Kicker, and Midwest Motor Customs. I know they have a pretty big hand on, as well as with Greg and Jason to make this series possible. So thank you to everyone. Hopefully I'm here next week. I'm gonna cross my fingers. I'm just not quite sure yet. So we'll see. Hopefully I get to talk to you guys in the near future.
Well, fair enough. Well, good luck. Hopefully we do, and we'll hopefully we'll see you around.
Sounds good, man. Have a good one.
You as well. That's Cedric Hunter finishing second place here tonight.
And joining us now is the man who's already punched his ticket into the round of 8, coming home in third place tonight, Greg Marconi. Greg, all things considered, you can't be too disappointed with your performance on a course that you admittedly said you were dreading last week.
Yeah, P3, I'll take it. I'm happy with that. Certainly was not expecting to do as well as I did, or to lead a few laps, which was nice, but just made mental mistakes all night, and that's what killed me.
Well, that seemed to be the case with a lot of guys tonight. Talk us through the initial start of the race when you and Kessler got into that little mix-up going into 1.
Yeah, I told Nick, I apologize. That was all me. I was not expecting him to check up like he did. And then as soon as I saw him checking up, I locked my front brakes. I just had too much front bias in it, and just got into the back of him. But that's what happened there. And then Nick was saying he never took that corner that shallow before, so he wasn't sure where he needed a brake. And but yeah, that was on me. That was nothing more than just a mental mistake to start the race, where I locked them up and just got into the back of them.
Well, let's move on to the restart after the competition caution, you were starting third. What happened in front of you?
So I saw Cedric get into the right rear. I think it was Cedric get into the right rear of Jovan, which kind of sent Jovan to the left. Cedric cut down in front of me, which made me blip the throttle, and then I just did the same thing. I just had my brake bias wrong. I had it set too far to the front for new tires, and just locked them up, slid my way through. Nothing I could have done. That was all me. I had my eyes on Trafari, trying to keep him behind me, and I missed my break point and slid right into the wall.
Well, I mean, you did everything you could to bring that car home. Probably not the night the rest of your team was hoping for, though, as the rest of Dudes Racing seem to be struggling here tonight.
Yeah, road courses aren't really our thing. That was I was glad we got Jason that win last week, moves him into the next round. Sadly, we couldn't do anything with Brandon to get him into the next round, but no, just a rough night. Just a rough night all around for Dudes Racing. But no, good finish for me. I'll take P3 after all said and done. Jason came home in like 8th place, which is good for him.
Yes.
And then Brandon just had a rough go of it. So, oh well, gave it our best shot. On to, was it Texas next?
Yeah, and that's a track that we've seen you do well at before. So, your
Yeah,
thoughts going into the Lone Star State?
I'm looking forward to it. Another 1.5 mile, high speed oval. It's same kind of thing as what we saw at Vegas. You're going to see a lot of pack racing. You're going to see a lot of big passes. You're going to see a lot of the side drafting and the normal draft. But certainly that new exit at 2 that they put in a couple years ago will make it interesting. Not as banked, little flatter. So we'll see what this car does there. But yeah, let's see what we can do. Continue on through the round of 8 and hopefully be sitting in the final 4.
All right. Well, Greg, before we let you go straight, moving on to the round of 8 with the team, who do you need to thank tonight?
Got to thank all our sponsors: Rowdy Energy, Circle B Diecast, iRacing, iFlag, Butt Kicker, Midwest Motor Customs. Thank the guys at Dudes Racing. Always shout them out. It's always fun to race with them. Didn't have the wife's company on the car, but hopefully next week they'll be there. Shout out to the wife and family that I know is watching. Thanks, honey, for watching the baby. Shout out to you guys. Love going back and watching the broadcast. Love hearing what you guys do. So yeah, on to next week at Texas. Let's have some fun. Round of 8.
All right. Well, Greg, again, congratulations. We'll see you in Texas.
Sounds good, Tony. See you.
So Cliff just received confirmation as to the 8 drivers that'll be moving on in the championship to compete at Texas to try to punch their way into the season finale at Phoenix. The 12 of Marconi, the 48 of Javon Cherry, the 25 of Brandon Lowe's, the 9 of Connor Trafari, the 1 of Jason Papp, the 98 of Shane Newens, the 5 of Mark McFadden. So that is going to make a certain young lady in Canada very happy to hear that her Miss Sally Hammond will be very happy to hear that one, that Mark has been able to make it to the next round. And they will be joined by the 47 of J.D. Woodward. So those are your 8 drivers still in contention for a championship this season. And Cliff, moving into Texas, that's not an easy track to get around.
No, it really isn't. Recently did a race there last week in one of my leagues, and it's Texas, and you think, oh, it's big, it's wide, it's 1.5 miles where I got this, it's no problem. And it really isn't. It's got its own intricacies, especially as Greg was talking about, and it's flatter and some of the turns now. The banking is opposite in 1 and 2 than it is in 3 and 4, so there's that. And I couldn't figure it out. Burned up my right front and was not a factor. And that was in the Gen 6 car. So you throw the next gen car into it, and you've got some more unknowns. So it's going to be an interesting race to watch. And I'll be happy to bring it to the folks at home next week, same time, same channel.
Yeah, absolutely. And, with that whole regrind that they did to reconfigure 1 and 2, turn 2 is now a decreasing radius corner. So you really have to be careful coming off of 2 that you don't pound the safer barrier. But more importantly, 3 and 4, where you think you can carry so much more speed, that gets the sun all day long, and that is usually the hot spot on the track is turn 4, where the highest track temperatures are recorded in that corner during the day, and it gets slick, it gets greasy, and it's very easy to pound the wall on the exit of 4.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, we'll see how it goes next week when these guys from the Rowdy Energy Cup Series take on Texas. We'll be down to 8 drivers, as we just spoke about. Why don't we run through the race results here?
Absolutely.
Connor Trafari in that 9 machine, coming from worst to best, from last to first, taking a win here today. We heard from him. Cedric Hunter in the 13 going to take second. Greg Marconi in the 12 machine is going to finish third here tonight at the Roval. Ryan Decker will finish fourth, with JD Woodward finishing fifth in the 47 machine. Mark McFadden's going to finish sixth. Shane Newens is going to finish seventh behind him. Jason Papp having a tough day today with that number 1 Lucky Charms machine, finishing 8th here, just in front of Jovan Cherry in the 48, who had it just about in the bag until some late race mayhem after our competition caution. Nicholas Wing in the 90 is going to finish top 10, and Nick Kessler in that 4, having to retire early, finishes 11th after dominating a good portion of this race. Brandon Wilson in that 501 finishes 12th. I believe Brandon Lowe's and Chris Walker were unable to take to the track. Looks like Lowe's got a few laps in, but unfortunately, Chris Walker never made it to the track, finishing 14th place. And that'll do it for round 12, or round 3 at the Charlotte Roval for the Rowdy Energy Cup Series. And for us here at ESBN, Tony, any last words?
No, I think you about covered it. The only thing I have left to say is thank you, Cliff Corvo, for giving us the awesome camera angles that you showed us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony Trapasso reminding you that as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.